We are now joined on the line by the Western Cape Traffic Chief, Kenny Africa. Kenny, thanks so much for joining us. Good afternoon. I know that investigations are still going on there with that accident in the Karoo, but so far, have you been able to determine at least what caused that crash in Beaufort West?
Yeah, good afternoon. Indeed, we know what happened. Apparently, the driver of the light delivery vehicle, a bakkie, overtook a truck, and in the process of overtaking this truck, he collided with the rear wheels of the truck, and oncoming taxi, then they collided head-on with one another, and in this process, both vehicles burst into flames. Now, there was two occupants in the bakkie. Both of the occupants was burned to death beyond recognition. And then also the occupants in the taxi, all of them also were burned beyond recognition. At that point of time, there was 7 fatalities in the taxi and 2 in the bakkie. And a little bit later this morning, one of the kids that was in the taxi also died in hospital. So the total fatalities for this accident early this morning stands on 10 fatalities. Mm-hmm. And then shortly after that, around about 1 o'clock, yet another head-on collision on the same notorious road of death, just outside Prince Albert before you get to Leochamka. Bakkie and a light motor vehicle, another head-on collision, and 2 people died in that accident. So on this notorious road of death this morning, 12 people already.
Yeah, and Kenny, you are talking of 12 people in these 2 separate accidents, but what are the casual figures for the whole of the province for this festive season so far, both in terms of fatalities and injuries?
Yeah, with regards to fatalities, we stand on 88 fatalities so far as from the 1st of December. And the major problem that we're experiencing currently is pedestrians. 42 of that figure were pedestrians that got killed in motor vehicle accidents throughout the province as from the 1st of December up till 6 o'clock this morning.
And what would you say are the main causes for these traffic accidents in the Western Cape?
Well, the main causes for these accidents, especially on our national and main routes, are fatigue. People who just don't want to pull off, don't want to make use of the golden rule that we've got, and that is that you need to stop after 2 hours or after every 200 kilometers and make sure that you are fit and that you are well rested to take on the next 200 kilometers or 2 hours. But what people do, they get into their vehicles from Joburg or from the Eastern Cape and try to get to Cape Town without stopping along the road and just stretching their legs a bit so that they can be fit for the next 200 or 2 hours trip that they need to take on. Mm-hmm. And fatigue is a major problem because most of these single accidents that we're experiencing is people falling asleep behind the steering wheel, land on the wrong side of the roadway, and end up in head-on collisions. On the other hand, they lost control over the vehicles, and then vehicles then overturned, and in most instances, people are dying in these type of accidents.
Yes. And finally and quickly, Kenny, what then are you doing from your side to ensure safe road usage?
Well, what we did up till now, we first started with the color-coded sticker program that we embarked on. That is all the taxis and public transport vehicles leaving Cape Town, taxing rank in Philippi towards the Eastern Cape and the other provinces. We check all the taxis and buses and then cut sticker on the windscreens of those vehicles to make sure that the vehicles are indeed roadworthy, and to give an indication to our officers along the road that the vehicles are checked and that the was definitely in order before they left Cape Town. So with the roadworthiness, we do everything in our power to make sure that they are indeed roadworthy. But what we can't do, what we are struggling with, is the fact that when fatigue takes its toll, then we need to get the motorists on board with us. They need to cooperate with us so that we can make sure that they get to their destinations safely. And that is, do not get into a motor vehicle if you are not well rested.
All right, Kenny, we have to end it there, but thank you so much. That was Western Cape Traffic Chief, Kenny Africa. Now, moving ahead, traffic officials